Hi friends, we're finishing up our series on the Passover, past, present, and future, talking about how the Jewish Passover and Christian communion come together in one alignment around Yeshua and his last Passover supper, his last Passover Seder with his disciples, which was both Christian communion and Jewish Passover at the same time. And as we're coming together, I was thinking as we tell the story in the Bible and in the Jewish Haggadah, that you come through, and it really has two major parts to the story. You've got the Passover itself, where they put the blood on the door frames, and by that they are saved from the angel of death that comes over. But then, after that, there comes another part. They come out of Egypt and they get to the Red Sea, and then there is this moment where the Egyptians attack them again. They go through the water, and then there's this sudden, huge judgment. So we really have that. You have the Passover salvation blood covenant, and then you have this tremendous, almost a military victory, sudden judgment at the Red Sea. Well, I was thinking about that. We know that the Passover, in terms of the blood salvation, comes up and is fulfilled in Yeshua dying on the cross and giving his life for us. But then there's a second half, and that is this huge military victory, judgment, total sort of Armageddon apocalyptic experience, and that hasn't been fulfilled yet. In fact, but there's many prophecies from the beginning of the Bible until the end, all have to say that there's a huge event coming, an Armageddon, an apocalypse, an end times war. And the Bible tells us that that's the time that Yeshua is going to return. So I believe there's something coming yet about the Passover. We're not just teaching about the Jewish roots to learn what happened in the past, but we're learning from that pattern to say what's going to happen in the future. The rabbis say this, that the last redemption will be like the first redemption. What does that mean? It says when the Messiah comes in power and glory, it'll be on a somewhat similar pattern to what happened at the Exodus of Egypt. My friend Dan Jesser wrote a book called the Book of Revelation, the Passover Key, and he said you understand the Book of Revelation by going through and looking at the story of the Passover. And here's what I want to tell you. That all of this, what we're learning, is not some cute religious symbolism or theology. We're talking about covenant. We're talking about prophecy. We're talking about preparing the people of God because we're moving into the end times. There will be tribulation. There will be plagues. And then we move up to a time of a huge final apocalyptic war in which the Lord will return and the forces of evil will be destroyed and judgment will come upon an evil world. We need to learn from that. Just as there was an evil empire in the time of Pharaoh, there's going to be a worse evil empire with the time of the Antichrist. And as there was a war there and difficulty, there will be more coming up. But let's get ready. We need to get into Goshen mentality, go through, speak the prophetic word of God, get ready as the people of God, because we're going into difficult times. Yes, the end of the story is a great, huge, awesome victory. And it happens when the Messiah comes down from heaven, leading the armies of heaven in a great battle. But we need to get ready. Let's learn from our past so that we can prepare for the future. Let me say that again. We're learning from our past so that we can prepare for our future. That's the Passover, past, present, and future.